Thank you for tuning in. I'm your host, Mariah Johnson. Today's episode, we're going to dive into the essential topics of marriage. We are going to cover communication, finances, romance, everything under the sun. So if you are looking to get married, or if you're already married and you're struggling in some areas, definitely want to keep watching. I also want to introduce my lovely guests, my husband and my family.
Hey.
Yes, so
are we doing intros
ahead.
like
intros? Go ahead.
I don't know what name to give everyone. It's like, no, my name's Tone or Anthony, whatever you want to call me, but I'm the husband to Mariah.
And our family, my good sis.
Hey, I'm Mia Carter.
And my good brother.
Eric Carter.
I just want to thank you guys all for accepting the invitation. I think our last big talk was New Year's.
Yep.
And that was very therapeutic, believe it or not.
It was.
We talked, I think, did we miss the ball drop?
No, we didn't, but we stayed
talked
up after the ball
it.
drop.
Yeah. We
Yep.
and that was late.
It was therapeutic.
Yeah. I'm gonna just kind of shake it off with an icebreaker. How long have you been with your person, and how did you know they were the one?
I'll take it away.
Okay.
So I've been with my partner for nearly 10 years. We've been married. It'll be 3 years. Next month is actually our wedding anniversary. So we're so very thankful for that. We've came a long way since the beginning of our relationship, but we got a long way to go also. I mean, we're very young. But man, I'm just thankful for this woman. I appreciate her. I love her. And I'm here to tell you that marriage is a good thing. And I'm thankful and I'm happy.
Yes.
But you didn't answer the question.
Okay,
how did you know
question.
I was the one?
How did
Right.
you know, how did you know, this is who I want to marry?
To be honest, it just felt different.
Yeah.
And that was the biggest thing for me. There's a lot of different reasons, a lot of the outside beauty, of course, but once you get to know a person, and as time go on, it just felt right. It felt good.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much how I knew she was the one. I mean, just instantly we clicked from day one. So
yeah. Yes. Okay.
I was there for day one.
You, sis, how did you know he was the one? You're like, okay, this is who.
Eric he's different. Everything about him is different. That's really it. I don't know what's he's just different. Everything about it. Some of the stories that you hear, I'm not judging.
Yeah.
I just don't relate when it comes to him.
Yes.
So for me, it was just this is
how he treated you, how he handled you.
Yes. Yep. It was definitely a safe bet. He's so thoughtful.
Yes. See, I think that's people, and I guess I could say the same thing. I knew he was the one. Now, I'm not going to take y'all all the way back.
When you first saw me?
When I first met him at a college party, because we were not
days,
a match made in heaven at all.
Don't talk about college.
That was that's a different time. That's a different time. But when we got reconnected, I really didn't know he was the one. I'm going to be completely honest. We were just friends. He was helping me a lot with learning more about God, the Bible, and different things like that. But I knew once when we decided to start talking, the way that he handled himself as a man, I think, and just a man of God, and just his values on how he treated everyone with respect, with love, with care. I just seen this man, I could see myself with this man for the rest of my life. And you don't think all right, this is just a man I'm just going to be with. It's just can I have children with them? Can we travel? Can we work on things? It's you got to think of all the dynamics of being in a relationship. And he you not to blow your head up, but I knew I was just yes. I think you asked me when we were talking. Was it weird?
What did he ask?
No, so
Okay, go ahead.
The question that
you...
kicked
like
off
each
our
other there,
whole, the question, because like we dealt with each other a little bit in college. We weren't together, but you know, we had we had talking stage, and then for everyone who knows me or don't know me, I found Jesus, and then I kind of went on in hiding for a few years to kind of work on myself. So I always kept in touch with her. We would probably go out to eat like once or twice a year, and then she asked me one year, like, "Do you want to go out for your birthday? I'll take you out to eat." And I don't know why I said yeah, because I usually would say no.
He will. He'll say no,
like
thank
anybody
you.
Know
He's
me,
polite.
I would just say no.
He'll say no, thank you.
I'm cool.
But that timing's always
for that,
right.
for some reason that day, I was just like yeah, and we went out to eat, and we just talked for hours, and then on the way home, I was like, "Could you see yourself marrying me?" And she would, and her answer, and I was like, "Dang," I was like, I don't even know what made me ask that question.
You wanted to marry her day one?
It wasn't even day one. You was talking about life. I don't know. No, it wasn't because we wasn't even dating after that. And then I just remember I prayed about it. And then when I went to Bible study the next day, the teacher was like, "Are you talking to anyone?" And I was like, "No, why you ask me that?" She was like, "I was wondering if you was married." And then I was like, "That's weird that you asked me that." And I was telling her about the situation, you know. But that's how that kind of started, and we kicked it off. But I'm actually glad we're having this conversation because sometimes you forget, like throughout life, like why did you even marry this person or how it all started to begin with. But by the time we got to dating, I think I was very intentional. I said, "I'm gonna give this 1 year."
See where it take me.
No, I said if we in a relationship, I'm gonna give this 1 year. And if in that year I should be able to make a decision as if you gonna if we're gonna make it or not. And I think that was just my relationship. Like once I got saved, it was different because before I would date, and I would date a person with the thought in my head that we ain't never getting married. Which is kind of a waste of their time and waste of my time if that was never the end goal. But going into the relationship with her, it was very intentional. Like, all right, we got a year if this don't work. And I mean, I don't know why I said a year. It could have been longer. I don't know why I just said 1 year. I felt like that was more than enough time for me to know. And to answer the question, the original question, how did I know she was the one? This is a funny story. But it was around Christmas time, and we wanted to go up the area. And something happened with my account. Like I was purchasing gifts around Christmas, but something happened around that time where my account got messed up and I couldn't like use my funds. And I don't know what was up with your money.
I was just broke. I don't
know what was up with her money, but
it was like I was spending money fast. I was broke. So.
But I'm like, dang, and we was already planning like we gonna go to Erie for for Christmas.
To
go to spend time with her family because I always said Thanksgiving's me and my family. We do Christmas your family.
Yep.
That was before you have kids and stuff, but. I was like, dang, I feel bad because now we probably ain't gonna be able to go. And all I had was a gift card from work.
Oh, man.
And she was like, we can make it work. And we went to area on that gift card. And I could have called E and said, hey, but it's Christmas time. You don't want to call nobody and ask them for money. But when we went that weekend and we made that gift card work, and then she got another gift from like her grandma and stuff like that.
I was so happy.
So gas was covered. We ate food. And I was just like, I always wondered, like, if I'm close to anybody, I always said, I feel like people's true colors show when they're broke. Because you could be around somebody that's up and they different than when they broke. But if I could see like, oh, we could make it if all else fails. And that's the day I text my God. I'm like, I think I found the one. And it's a funny story, but that was when I was like, oh, like we could be down on her last and be straight.
She's still gonna be with me.
That's
what you want.
And that's the day I was like, oh, I think this could be it. Because I'm thinking, why didn't I use a credit card or something? But I don't know.
I don't know
what happened, but we had gift cards.
It worked out.
It worked out. I think we all have like unique stories, different, someone's different, or just showing their true colors and everything. The things that I want to kind of touch base on first is communication. What do you rank that out of like 1 through 4? We're going to do communication, finances, romance, and then like children, the importance of that. I would say communication is number 1. That's how I look at it.
I think we all could agree with that.
Yes.
I would agree too.
Yes, like it's number 1. It's the most important thing. What do you feel is the most effective way to communicate? So,
can I go back to the ranking?
Yes.
I know we all agreed on communication, but I also feel like that's the hardest one.
It is.
It's hard.
It's girl.
Yeah, communication, I feel like it's the most important one. But because if your communication is not effective, then all those other ones going, like the finances, the kids, and everything else is going
everything falls apart.
Right.
Yes.
And just to be transparent, that's a struggle for us. Like,
it can be hard, but I think as long as I think a lot of it can start with self-awareness.
Yes.
So, as we know, like I'm on my journey where, I'm prioritizing just self, along with like my family and everything else. Right. But like, just really digging into myself. And a lot of the problems I feel like can be solved with self-reflection. And I really think that's a great place to start, because it would help with being like really just own it, being accountable for what you may be doing, but it also might be like, okay, well, you said this to me and I know very well how it made me feel, so I'm able to communicate it. So I really think taking a deep dive within yourself could really work. And then also being vulnerable, like stripping yourself down to nothing, and like putting yourself in a space with your person that's like, hey, like,
because I'm hard as a rock. Like, I'd be like,
I used to be like, I'm soft in it. I get mad, I get a little hard, like, but no, you have to. I truly think you got to do the work.
Yeah.
And then also, I think it would help to know each other's intentions. Like, so I think intentions is where we struggle. Like, he might be like, oh, well, like I could say something and he gets defensive, but it's just like, and he wants to tell me like, but I didn't mean, and it's like, I know your intentions. They're pure. I know. But like, if you shoot me on accident, you still shot me. Like, so like we got to talk about the fact that I got shot. I think that's the part that's
like delivery and learning just how your partner communicates.
I'm not saying that my delivery it can use a little work, huh? Don't do it.
I ain't gonna put you on the spot.
Listen, I got something because me and Tone, we struggled with that. And the one thing I realized, and I did not know this, is that I talk loud. And sometimes I talk aggressive. So Tom will be looking at me like, "What? Like, relax," because I'm like so passionate. And to me, like, this is where I get this from my family. Yeah. Like, my dad is a loud talker. He talks with his hands. Yeah. He's very like loud. Like, let me get it out. And I think the way my style of communicating was like, anytime we have a disagreement, I want to get it out. I want to say it right then and there. I want to fix it. Like, let's go. Let's move on from it. But his was very different, and we would always clash because, like, I thought my way. I'm gonna lie. I thought my way was the best way. I thought my intentions were pure. You think like, oh, I'm coming in with pure intentions. You kind of compare yourself to the worst, and you say, well, I'm not doing all these things, so it's fine. But we really had to like learn. This was like a struggle for us at first, that we didn't even think about this in marriage. Like, we
still learning though.
We're still learning. Yeah. We know, and I'll say this, like, we know there was like one way that we communicated well, and is when we prayed before we talked.
Yeah.
And it took me time, like that self-awareness, for me to be like, Mariah, it can't always be your way. Like, you can't always just do things the way that you want to do it. And so I have to like be okay with waiting a day to talk. I have to be okay with letting it sit with me and not allow myself to be upset the whole day because I'm letting it sit with me. So it's a two-part thing. Like,
I think it's not even, I think it's us getting better at being able to talk about it right away. The reason sometimes I say I ain't ready is because I feel like there's too much tension. And I'm like, this gonna lead to an argument,
right?
And but I'm trying to get it out.
And every time she did that, we got into an argument,
right?
So it's like, I could see it coming. Let's just hold off on it. Like, just wait. We can still talk about it today, but just not right now because it's too much tension.
I feel like we had that problem. He talks with his hands, and for me, like, when you talking with your hands, to me, like, that
you ready to fight?
You ready to fight? Exactly.
Like,
so for me, it's like, well, what's up? Like, like, so, it put me on a defense where, I really didn't need to. I had to learn him. Like, you know, it's just like, okay, that's just genuinely how he, that's how he talks. Like, he's very passionate. So he gets loud, but it's because it's not like he's about, well, you know, like he's okay. Like, that's how he expresses himself. Like, you know, I had to learn that, but then I also had to accept it. But I really don't know how we got over the hump of, like, it's a heat, like, you know, we're both heated, very passionate about what we got to say, but now, like, I feel like we're at a place where we could talk about it for the most part. Like, 90% of the time, like, we could really just talk about it. It doesn't have to be an argument. It might not be the most easy conversation, and maybe the most nicely said, however, we're able to talk about it, but, like,
being able to just keep your composure, though, was, like,
it's like that's
the main thing, because I know it's like once I get started, I'm fired up, so now I'm ready to
People
go there.
Don't know that,
because you gotta know so mellow.
He's so nice, girl. Don't go to the line. You know how like you know what line not to cross. Don't walk up to the line. So, but for me, like I used to feel like I've never really seen a healthy relationship. I've never really seen healthy communication. So the way I grew up, no matter what type of relationship, a friendship, someone you don't know who, whatever, like, it's like, if that's that line, the way I'm feeling, I'm across the line and what? Like, you know, but like, this is a man. Yeah. He leads our family. Like, that does not fly. Do that. Like, yes.
That's so true.
I had to realize being self-reflecting, you know, like.
I felt like you said a lot there, but
I realized, like, okay, me, like, you might be a little disrespectful. Like, you know, so for when I realized that, it's like, okay, well, let me tackle that first. Because his biggest thing that he's always said was, I just want to be respected. Respect me. But he's a man, like, and I mean a man. So why wouldn't I give him that? Like, he can lead our family. Like, why? Like, you know, I had to learn to take the back seat. Yeah. And that's still a struggle. But for me, I feel like I grew up with a single mom. Like, I just seen strong women. Like, you know, like, that's just what I've seen. So that's what I am.
Yeah. Yes.
But he kind of, and my mom was in survival mode. Like, Eric kind of, you know, took me, not kind of, he took me out of survival mode. I don't have to be so strong. I don't have to do a lot of these things that, you know, like, we grew up seeing. So for me, it was like a learning curve. But
that's good. A lot there. That's a good,
And at the same time, though, like, it's also understanding that, like for us men, like, I just want to speak for the men, that we gotta understand.
He always want to speak for the men. Like.
Yeah, we gotta touch on that, because like, sometimes women are very argumentative, and they try to stir the pot just by saying little things just to get you riled up, and it's like, let me just stop.
Yeah, I think it's the upbringing, bro.
Yeah,
like, if that's what you used to, because like, and sorry for her family, but that's what they do. My family, we don't talk. So communication style is they argue. No, it doesn't. But her communication style is to get it out. Mine's is to say nothing at all. Right. And before marriage, I never had to talk it out with nobody. If you didn't like the way things was going, we could just end it.
And I'm out.
Right. But now it's like, I can't do that. We have to work through it. And it was like the first time I'm like, dang, I gotta express myself in a way. And then
with words,
the communication style in a certain way. Yeah. And it was like, even try to understand what your partner is saying, because it's like, we're not at odds. We're not like this.
Right.
Here's the issue. It could be you, it could be me, but let's address the issue and not try to tear each other down.
Yeah.
And I think even having that understanding is one thing, because misunderstanding what someone's saying, and we learned this through Marriage Builders, because with her, when she's mad, she just start blurting out stuff.
I do,
and I'm taking it to heart. And she may not even mean
everything from last year to I'm holding it in, and it's crazy because it's not right.
It's coming out.
You know, and what else you do is funny. Because there's times, if like I said, communication, I won't say anything. Yeah. She gonna say it anyway. Right. She gonna just walk around the house and just start saying it.
I'm gonna get it
and
out.
I'm like, and then now I get fired up, like, oh, you wanna say it anyway? Come on, let's go. And then it'd be horrible.
But that right there shows like in a marriage too, communication. It's an ongoing thing. It's not something that you're just going to be like, all right, boom, like we it's fixed with just one conversation. It takes work, because we got to a point where like I said, we prayed before, had a conversation, and it was like good, and then we didn't have like a lot of disagreements after that. But we went right back to some of those same behaviors and patterns, it's really hard to break out of that. Like he said, I came from a family, like, we argue it out. We fight it out sometimes. And so I get very aggressive sometimes when I'm passionate. And he had to, like, he's a complete opposite. Like I said, shut down. Like, I ain't never had nobody ignore me.
So,
like, good. So good.
And Eric's like that. He's very nonchalant, which drives me up a wall.
But they act like we're doing it on purpose.
So,
right?
Yes.
Y'all know.
I had to realize that's who he is. That's who he is. But for me, like, it's like, okay, well, this is what I'm feeling. I don't care how it makes you feel. You ain't talking no way, so I'm going to say it. He felt like I was picking. But I felt like I was trying to get you to talk. So by the time he talked, he was blurting it out, and it was coming out any kind of way, because now he's... And I'm allowed to say...
All right.
I'm sorry. Okay, now I know. But listen, like, he was mad. So I had to learn. Like, I really try to learn him. Like, you know, it's just like, all right, like, if I got to live with you for the rest of my life, you like, and it's actually pretty good living. Like, you know, it's happy times. Like, let me figure out, like, what I'm doing. It's hard living with somebody. Like, you know, like, so it's like, well, let me figure out, like, what might be annoying to you, or what might just
what am I doing to get you to this point? Like, it's a trigger point.
Kinda, yeah.
I was thinking of a scenario. Not a scenario, it's a situation that actually happened. Sorry to put you on the spot again.
That's all right. Put me on the spot.
We was in the car, and I felt it coming. So I'm like, all right, let's just chill. And she just kept going. And then I got, like, real angry and loud. Because if you ever hear me loud, it's too late.
I'm already there, bro.
Because it took so much for me to get there.
I was just quiet for the last
that
hour.
That voice was so high. Just be...
And then I got it all up.
I'm here. His hair is like here.
And I hate getting like that, though. Like, nobody want to be in that, because you just too angry in this. And then, but what I was saying was, after I got loud, I think it was after church. That's the crazy part. We was on our way from church, which is crazy.
Yes.
And it happened, and I was just like, if I just, like, once we all come down and got home, I'm like, I think I hugged her. I think we had to pray. And I was like, if ever in the future, I just say right now ain't a good time, just drop it so we don't argue, because that's the worst thing. And I don't know, was Joel with us that day? And that's another thing. You don't want to argue in front of the children.
Yeah, I think it was
get to a point where we didn't argue at all.
But a misconception, though.
Sometimes
but that's a
they might
whole
need
other
to see.
thing, though. Like, like, they do need, I'm not saying, I feel like they should be shielded from things that's just, like, out of kids, you know, like, but
inappropriate, right?
Exactly. But kids do need to see some kind of argument, because they're going to grow up and have these same problems. So they need to learn how to navigate. They need to be shown that, like, you know. So to a point, you do have to have small disagreements in front of your child, but not like yelling.
You want her to see us go through confrontation, but come to
the proper way.
Proper way to, like, fix it, because like I've seen you know, people not fix it, and it's just a bad situation, and just holding on to, like, resentment or a grudge, or like,
and then like, if I'm hot, like I'll shut down, and we be in the same house and I won't speak. And that's me knowing the Bible. You ain't supposed to go let the sun go down being mad at each other. And I'll just be like, I ain't mad. You might not be mad, but
what's my special?
Oh man, if we get into disagreement, she want to argue until it's 5 a.m, man. It's just like, I got work. Like, I got work.
I'll be tired at 5. I'll be like,
2 kids,
look, I'll wake up.
No, I got something to say. You going to hear me? Like,
that's something, like, it just happens in marriage. But it's like, you got to get over that hump, and you got to compromise. The biggest thing is compromising, what I heard here. Like, we all got to compromise. Like, even though he said, like, oh, well, I shut down, and I'm like, I'll wait a day. So he's coming a little bit, and then I'm coming and meeting him a little bit at a comfortable spot for both of us. So I'm like, all right, I could wait a day to talk, even though we're going to get to that point of not having to wait a whole day, and we could just fix it. But I'm happy he's talking. I'm happy he's expressing. And like you said, hard. Hearing the truth about yourself.
Dang, I can't wait. I keep putting you on the spot, but I put us both on the spot.
No, I can't wait a day. How y'all do a day?
So
it's
I mean,
hard.
I don't know if we really had to wait the next day, unless I just didn't talk at all.
No, there was times it's really hard. Like, I'm not even gonna lie, it does eat me up, but I don't. You get to a point where, like, you try different things and it don't work. You have to ultimately, like, you're like, I have to do this. Let me try not to be upset. And then like, you know, you don't want to be in a bad mood. Like, so I try to like forget about it. I try to like, I do like notes in my phone. Really? And I write down.
Stand it.
I listen.
I can't stand it.
I do notes in my phone, but it helps me. But it helps. Be quiet. It helps me with like, when I say stuff when I'm angry, I go back and I read it, and I will go like, "Oh, this is kind of like harsh. This is kind of like, let me change this or change that." And sometimes like giving myself a day helps me actually calm down, not be so upset, and just come together and then fix the issue.
I might gotta take a page out. We don't argue a lot, but when we do, I'm telling you, it's 5 a.m. Look, don't let it happen around like 10 at night, because it's just
sleeping too comfortable. Like, you know, like it's something like that. It's just like, I'm just tired.
As soon as 12 o'clock hit, it's something about 12 o'clock where it turned into a beast. It's like, oh, you think you about to snuggle up and go to sleep?
Yeah, I'm going to sleep.
She like a little razzle dazzle.
And he be sleeping so peacefully. The one time we got in disagreement, he went to go play the game. I was like, what?
I had to calm down.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
So, but no, I think communication, just a piece to take away from that. I want everyone to give, because I know some of us are still working. We're always still working. Communication is going to be a constant thing in marriage. What's one piece of advice you can give to a couple who is struggling with communication?
I think we kind of touched on it. I would say what she said about self-reflecting, because a lot of times you want to point the finger, but if you look in the mirror, you could be the one creating the issue. And I can give an example of that for both of us. And I would say, if you believe in God, pray about it before. It's hard to get into an argument after you pray. Like if you sat there and sincerely pray, and pray for the spouse, pray for her while she pray for you, or just you cover both of y'all, but it'll bring the tension down if God's, you know, in that. But when I say, when she was talking about self-reflection, I could think of an example where we both try to communicate, and it wasn't effective, but the other person didn't make it good for the future. Right. And the example I'll give is one time I told her I felt like she was trying to play me.
Oh, that set me off.
I said, I felt like you trying to. Well, she was asking me like, what's wrong? And I wasn't saying it. Because, you know, you think about their feelings.
What was this, though?
Probably like Joe, I was a newborn. So, you know, you ain't getting that much sleep.
Right. Now you already irritated.
We fighting. Sleep deprived from kids is all. We'll leave that for the kids
but she was asking me like, what's wrong? And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna try to speak how I feel. And I said, I think you're trying to play me. And that went left. She
hauled off on you
and just started going. And I'm like, okay, I guess she wasn't trying to play me.
That's a little disrespectful though.
Oh, like, it gets worse. It gets worse. But then I was like, dang, maybe if it didn't make me want to share my feelings in the future, because I'm like, look how I made her feel for me expressing myself. And then there was a situation, and this is all around the same time, where she told me she felt like, you want me to share that?
Well, share it.
We here now.
I know.
She told me she felt like a single mom. And I went and did the same thing she did.
Break your heart.
Yeah, especially when you know how much you do. But I was thinking like, we both probably, like me, the way I reacted to that probably didn't help her want to express it in the future. But I don't even think that's what she necessarily like meant to say. It's just how it came out.
Yeah,
but
the choice of words.
I didn't get to the real root of the problem.
See,
because
that's the thing.
What she said was so hurtful. I'm like, oh, dang.
That's
like, I'm here every day.
That delivery, I think, that's where being considerate, I feel like, comes into play, because she probably genuinely felt that way.
Yeah.
And although it makes you feel a way, we can't negate the fact that she felt that way. Yeah. Like, you know, now I ain't bringing up old stuff, but I'm just saying, like, no matter what it is, like, you might not like the delivery.
Right.
So maybe I could work on that. And I really don't feel like I should have to stroke your ego when I'm hurting right now. Like, something is hurting me. Like, so you don't like the way I'm saying it, so now you don't hear the fact that I'm hurting.
Like I'm struggling. And that is around the time of, like, postpartum too. Like, keep in mind, it pops up at any time.
I had it real bad.
And it pops up. It'll come and go, and I will say, like, that was probably not the right choice of words. Because it was kind of like a slap in the face. I was expressing my feelings, but slapped him in the face while I was doing it. Because like, he is my husband. He is a wonderful father, but I must have been struggling a lot during those couple of weeks, and I just needed more help. And instead of me saying like, oh, I feel like a single mom, I could have just said like, listen, I need you to pull a little bit more because I'm struggling here. I'm drowning a little bit.
And I think what we learned from both of those situations, like if we look in hindsight 2020, is like, don't focus so much on what they say, but let's get to the real issue. Let's focus on the real issue versus taking what they said personal.
Right. So I think my takeaway, like back to your original question, and something that I'm still working with, especially really and truthfully only when I'm mad, where it's like at the forefront of my man, is to just be respectful. Like, you know, that's like his deal breaker, if you will. So at all times, like, I just feel like for all that you do, like, as a man, like, he does deserve to be respected. Like, so it's like, when I'm mad, I really try to grip onto that, like, firmly, because it's just like, okay, like, this is where you're been known to be disrespectful, me, so, like, let's focus on, and girl, it's hard because it's like, oh, this ain't what I'm used to. Like, I you know, it make me feel weak a little bit, but it's just like, you know, I'm not being, it's for us in our community, I feel like, as a woman now, like, once the man left the household, whole nother conversation, but, you know, now, you know, it made us strong. Like, so for me, it was just like, and that's what I'm used to seeing, so I'm feeling like I'm weak, because it's just like, I don't know, I'm being respectful, I feel like you're being rude, now I'm getting mad. But, you know, so it's hard to still stand on that respect, because it's just like, woo, you really trying me for real. But I really think that's what helped our communication along the way, is to just still be, if that's his deal breaker, then just give him that. Like, he deserves it. He does.
Yeah, that's good.
Appreciate
that's
that.
Good. Now that we covered communication, I do want to bring up a little viral question, because this is like something, this is ongoing. And I think, like, for me being married, it hit a little differently, because I'm like, wait, what? Why are y'all debating about this? Should men pay all the bills, or should y'all go 50-50? Like, what's y'all take on that? I know y'all heard, like, the viral debates on Facebook and social media, and I would see, like, a lot of comments that say like, oh, he's not a man, he's a roommate. Like, you're literally changing the value of a man because of how you guys are doing the bills and different things like that. But I think, like, my take on it is that do what's best for your family. The way that the economy is now and working, like, I could lose my job, but does that make me less of a woman? Or he could lose his job and I gotta be 100 now. Does that make him less of a man? Do I start calling him a roommate because, you know,
he ain't holding it down.
He ain't holding it down. And it's like, how do y'all determine that? Like, especially being in a marriage. Like, now, if I become a millionaire off this podcast because y'all are going to like and share and comment and subscribe and just whatever, and I become a millionaire with this podcast, I will pay 100. Like, he ain't got to pay retired.
I retired, okay?
Like, listen, right? Retired. But it's like, that doesn't mean that he's less of a man. It doesn't mean that, like, he's my roommate now. And I think you just do what's best for your family at the time. Like, things change. You know, people get raises, people lose jobs. It's so, like, conflicting.
So I'll
let the wife touch on that.
I will take it, because I feel like this question is always posed towards a woman. So as a woman, and then a woman whose career is in finance, the way I look at a dollar is a little bit different than most people. So when you said the economy, it's just like, yes, this is not 1990. You know, like when they were like, you know, when a man was working to support the home while the wife was home taking like, you know, keeping the home together and taking care of the kids. It's just not that anymore. Life isn't set up that way. And I feel like unless you're in 7 figures to live in a lifestyle like that. Like, you know, it's not sustainable and you're going to struggle.
Right.
As long as you're doing it legally.
Right.
We both work. So for me, I don't mind, and God's blessed me. When I say, and I have, you know, we do well for ourselves. When I say we're equally yoked, we're equally yoked. So Eric does equally just as good as I do. So for me, it was always important to have 2 tables.
Yes.
Like, you have your table, I have my table, and we take care of everything together. Yes, we go 50-50, and I'm not ashamed of it.
Yeah.
And the reason for that is because when I say 50-50, it's more than just finances. Like, there's a lot of things that he does as a husband that I don't think most men do.
Yes.
And I'm not, you know, calling shots or judging. It's just, there's a lot of things I don't do. Like, if I come home from work and I'm tired, he's going to take the kids downstairs so that I can have a break.
Yes.
If, you know, I come home and I'm cooking dinner, like, you know, and I'm not able to cook and clean at the same time because of whatever's going on, he's going to clean the kitchen.
He's
like,
a team.
there's, like, yes, like,
it's a team.
Exactly, it's a team. If I'm sick or something, he don't mind doing bad things. He's a very great father.
Active.
You know, if I'm stressed out and you know, I just need a break, he gonna take the kids for a ride. Like, he does things that most men don't do. So I think this whole 50-50 comment came because, like, well, you want me to get off of work.
It's like keeping track.
And then, you want me to get off of work, come home, clean the house, cook dinner, take care of the kids and everything like that. Like, no, when we come home, it's still 50-50 all the way. When the bills get paid, 50-50. When the kids are taken care of, 50-50. Sex, 50-50. Like, whatever it is. Like, whatever it is. Like, you know, it's like, it's done as a true partnership. So for me, I don't mind going 50-50. I honestly don't.
Yeah.
There's things that he made it known before a marriage that he doesn't want to do, and he named one thing. Eric doesn't want to cook dinner. You don't have to cook dinner, babe.
Ooh, that was a good request.
That's it.
Amen.
Listen, and in return, as a woman, and I'm talking a woman, I don't like to put away clothes. I don't mind washing them. Something about folding them and putting them away. I don't like that.
I didn't know that was a struggle for everybody.
So that's what he do. I cook. That's what he do, and he'll take care of the clothes. Like, you know, but at the same time, I don't know. Like, it like, I feel like it works. But but for whatever, like, you know, like, he has his account where his direct deposit hits. I have mine where my direct deposit hits, and then we have a house account where we put money into our house account. So now everybody has money, but we don't gender role. So, you know, he does like I said, like, you know, he just does the things. Like, when I'm talking a man, it's all around. He does the things.
He does what needs to.
He does.
Yep.
And I really, you know, I'm grateful for it because some people be saying, you know,
you be like, what?
Like, I just can't relate. I'm grateful for it. So, like, to me, it's like, but now there's a lot of things. I don't know if it's truly 50-50 or if it's a 60-40 because I don't really buy groceries. I don't pump gas. I don't even know how much gas is. I don't lift bags. I don't do, like, so there's a lot of things as a man that he still takes on. So for me, it's like, if we gotta split these bills, then we can split. Listen, ain't no shame in my game. We got like, it's fine.
I love that. I love that. I think that's like, people, I don't know why people frown on that. Like, it works, and both parties, they have the money, and 9 times out of 10, you spend money on your spouse anyways.
Girl,
like,
I'm very spoiled.
Like, y'all are thinking, y'all ain't, you know, it's not like you're spending your money on just, like, it's usually family. It has to do with your family, anything. So
I don't know. I think that mindset. Well, I guess they're gonna say the man need to grind more or whatever. But I was gonna say, with that mindset that the man pay for everything in today's economy is like, if I pay for everything, we ain't gonna be where we at. We gonna be.
That's what I'm saying. It's not sustainable.
It's not sustainable.
Yes, I want quartered. Like, when we go on dates, like, go ahead and pay. Like, you know, I'm not racing you to be a man in that regard. Like, still court me.
We not at the table being like, split the bill. Like,
that's not. Like,
we ain't doing that.
You know, you still gonna court me. You know, like,
Ours is a little different with that though, because sometimes I'll pay, sometimes she'll pay, sometimes the house will pay.
Yeah, we got the house. Right, we got that. Right. We have a joint account too, where it's like, oh, house paying for this one. When we just, but
the extra money in the house account for that type of stuff anyway.
So. That's another thing. You gotta pay your accounts, and that's his account, your account, house account. You just
we have 3, but everything goes into the house first, and then we distribute it to our accounts, which has been hard.
Yeah, we got the opposite way.
Listen, I do. We thought about it. I do. No, I was gonna say because you guys touched on that when we had our like New Year's talk and stuff, and I'm like, because we do struggle with like just the way that we do it, because at first we're like, oh, just combine all the money because it's good, and he was switching jobs, and then I was like. It's like we got a baby, and it was just like a little bit easier at first because it's like coming out of one account. But we also thought about like I was just like, oh, that was a good idea the last time, doing it like that, but still making it like, what's the right word? Still making it like I don't want to say even, but like. Someone who's making like $200K versus feasible. 50,000, like I'm not gonna say go 50-50. Like it's like all right, I'm gonna take a little bit more on, so y'all both can have a good amount of money.
I never looked at it that way. The way you just explained it is like if one person make more, then they could take on more. The way I always looked at it was like if we do it the way we do it now, like she said, she was making more than me when we got married, but now I surpassed her. Yeah. But there's no difference. The difference is we both came up. Like
I was happy. I was like,
girl. The pot for both of us increased, but that's why I will always. I ain't gonna say I do like it that way because it's like, all right, if I become a millionaire,
he did.
Like, and I start making millions, it's like, oh, I'll take care of everything, but it's just like it's still gonna work out itself. We both but I ain't think about it that way. Is that whoever does come up could just take care of everything, but.
Yeah, it's like
I feel like if we both come up,
but we speaking from like regular salaries, like feasible. Like none of us is like rich or millionaires right now, and we're like 50-50. Like of course, like the dynamic's gonna change, but I feel like a lot of people that was asking this question on Facebook, they're not. They don't have that type of income. Yeah. Like it's like, oh, like no, he got to do this and do that and support my dreams.
Don't look on the internet, girl. We're rich on the internet. Now we do well for ourselves, both of us. But girl, you go on Instagram. It's like
you be like, dang, that's all.
I really thought I was getting to it. Like, am I doing something wrong?
No, I do.
It's PPP.
No, that's gonna get sidetracked.
How do y'all decide who's in charge of finance? Now I know you
and y'all both work in finance too.
Oh, both of y'all. You work in finance too?
Not really. She's the one. I mean, it's all banking, but she's the one with the finance.
So you're just like, like you can just handle that.
You know the crazy thing is, he's better than me with $1.
No, he a beast.
Like he's really, really good with money. Like so, even when I was making more than him, I found myself like, babe, I need some money. Yeah. And he had me. He always has me, no matter what. His thing is like, as a man, he need like money.
He has
like,
that safety net.
Yes, he does. And I don't take advantage of it.
Yeah.
But there's never a time where he passed me up. Like no matter what it was, like even like I don't know. He's always had me.
Yeah.
But no one's in control of our money. We have our separate accounts. Our house takes care of itself. See, we fund our house. Everything is auto paid to come out of our house. Yeah. To the point where it may be sad. Like I don't even look in our house account really truthfully because it's nothing but bills just coming out. Like you got your cushion over there. So if you need something, from time to time, grab from the house because we do well padding the house.
Yeah.
But it's still a good amount to where it's like we pad this up. But at the same time, like my account's good.
Yeah, so it's like
and his account's good. Like and rare times if we need something, that's why I come back to those two tables. Reach across the table, like, babe, can I eat at your table today? And vice versa, and that's fine with me. But it's no one's in control of the bills. It's a house account. We both can see everything that's going on.
Everything the house come out of that same account,
and it just
the house takes care of itself, and I love that.
Good.
It works.
Hey, we may have to take a page. I mean, I like.
I think it would probably be better for us if
he
we.
Said nah.
No. Right, what I'm saying is, it would probably be easier for us to do it that way. Like if we do it that way, it'd be better for us because right now we have two different ways of doing things. Like like she want to pay everything. Like the way she wants to pay bills versus the way I want to do it is two different ways. Like I'd rather just have everything auto pay and then just do everything on one day.
Yeah.
But she's kind of like, all right, this is coming in on this day. Let's pay this on.
I
that
do
one.
it like weekly. I do mine
she
like
go week to
like
week
because we get
I
paid
like a month's worth just done.
Yeah.
See,
like
we do. So we get paid like opposite weeks. So like there's a check coming in every week.
That's good. Though.
So I'm just like, to me, realistically, like it helps keep track of our spending for the week. And like I'll be like, all right, like X amount of bills is coming out. We got X amount here. Boom, this goes to savings. This is what's left in here till next week. Boom. And it's not something that like, because doing bills will drive you crazy. Bills pile up. It's so many bills. You be like, dang, like I'm going to charge for this. Okay, what's this? But it kind of keeps you on track, like with like spending, I think, with us. Because like we share an account, and so it's like sometimes we'll be like, all right, well, we're going out to eat, this is on the house. But if we know for the week, like, hold on, we gotta chill because this ain't our week to be spending like that from the house. Use your own money.
I think that's where we go wrong sometimes is we'll put on the house when one of us should be paying for it. I'm not telling y'all what to do,
but really I think for the month, no matter what we like to have more, but no matter what it comes down to, we need X amount in the bill for the month. Because this is how much my bills are for the month. Total. Exactly. So it don't matter when it coming out, because it's just like, well, things come up in life too. So it's like, well, what if I have a hiccup? Stuff like that just, I feel like, would stop you from going outside your house. That's our thing. Like, we never want to go outside of our house for anything.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we don't, which that is like, don't do that. Do not ever go outside your house with finances. Don't ever talk about it. Like, your marriage, it should be private.
I like to say all
that stuff should be private. And even sometimes like asking someone outside of your marriage for money, like that is really, it's just not a good thing. Like they're now involved in your finances.
Everybody pocket watching.
Everybody's pocket watching.
I don't like that.
People,
I don't talk.
That's why I'm on a need to know basis. Like,
right.
You would like to see part 2 of this episode, make sure that you just leave a comment. If you have any questions for the guests, make sure that you comment, like, share, subscribe. I am so happy. Go ahead. Oh, I'm sorry.
My biggest piece of advice would be have God as the foundation.
Amen.
I found out when my marriage or our marriage is struggling is because God's not first or where He needs to be. And I think every aspect that we touched on today, if you had God as your foundation, all those will fall in alignment. All of those will fall in place because, I mean, through His Word, He teaches you about finances. He teaches, He is love. He teaches you about love.
Yes.
Communication. If you're talking to God, then you'll be able to talk to your spouse.
Yes.
All those things. So I feel like, and He's the one who designed marriage. Marriage came from God. It didn't come from the world. It didn't come. It wasn't man-made. Like, that was God's design, His intention, and He's the manufacturer of it. So I would say seek Him to. That would be my biggest advice, because His ways is not our ways, and a lot of times our ways causes friction within our marriage. So if you can die to self and let Him be the foundation and lead you,